Welcome back to part two of how to create a college list with Mosley. I hope all is well. And I believe last time we left off, we were in chapter 7. So, chapter 7 is about not letting costs deter you or stopping you from applying to your dream college or any college that you find to be interesting. Um, So many students and parents do not really know the real costs of a college education. They usually focus on the sticker price, which is what is advertised on their website or either on their marketing material. The sticker price isn't always what you will pay, right? The sticker price that's listed for the school is often much higher what the real cost is. And we'll delve a little bit more into this. Before knowing the difference between a sticker price and something like what is called a net price, we have to understand what is the cost of attendance. Usually it's called the COA. So the cost of attendance is basically the amount that it will cost you to go to a particular college, right? It includes both direct costs, which is billed by the institution, like tuition and fees, and indirect costs like living expenses, housing and food and personal costs. Combine that, transportation, for example, combine all of that will be the cost of attendance for that college for that particular year, right? So you have to understand that that is the cost of attendance, and the cost of attendance is what financial aid the government will be looking at if you apply for financial aid. And they all, and this is also what is considered to be the general sticker price. So again, the sticker price is usually the advertised costs, which is the total cost of attendance, including tuition fees, housing, food, books, transportation, any other thing, um, deodorant, medicine, any personal items, anything that you will need that's part of your time in college and while you're being educated, right? And the net price is the actual price a student actually pays, right? So it would include grants, scholarships that you receive, sometimes loans, and you subtract that from the sticker price and you actually get the real price. But before we get into that, I wanted to show an example of what a cost of attendance would look like, right? Using UCLA, University of California in Los Angeles, using their website, I wanted to show more about what it would look like. So, a cost of attendance is basically, like I was saying, all of the costs: housing, food, books, etc., travel, and this is what a sticker price would look like, right? For a new student, a freshman starting in the fall, and if they choose to live on campus versus living off campus, prices vary. So if they were to choose to live on campus, it will be $80,000, which is an estimated non-resident. A resident will be 43,000 if they live off campus, meaning they live at home or somewhere off in an apartment somewhere. And again, these are estimated figures. They would have to pay 44,000 versus the non-resident who's not a California resident would have to pay 82,000. And I believe the 82,000 would also, the non-resident would also include international students as well. So this is what a cost of attendance would look like. And every college website has this. They have to publish this information because it is considered public information. So the again a visual description of what I was talking about, the difference between a sticker price versus a net price. So the sticker price would include the college's cost of attendance minus the free money. your grants, your work study, your scholarships that you apply for and win. Grants from the federal government, work study from the federal government. You can also include loans in there, even though it's not free money, but still, it will be subtracted from the sticker price. It will be included in the loans will be included in the free money area, even though it's not free. Um, and then once you subtract that from the sticker price, you get the net price, which is actually what you will pay, what you actually will pay. So just understand, uh, don't let a sticker price, don't let the sticker price, the advertised price that is put out on the university's website deter you from applying, right? And just to review, every college and university they're required to have a net price calculator, and the net price calculator basically estimates give you an estimate of how much your net price will be. So every university like UCLA would have a net price calculator on their website, and all you would have to do is provide just basic information about your family's financial situation, your income, assets, how many people are in your family, and the net price calculator will give you an estimate of how much you will probably end up paying to attend, right? So it's really very important to understand the difference between the net price and the sticker price, and also utilize the tool, the net price calculators, to estimate how much it will cost for you to attend that particular college. Again, every college, this is an example of UCLA's net price calculator, and this is what it will look like. And the type of information that is usually asked to give you an estimate of how much it would be to attend UCLA. So just be mindful of the tools that are available for you, the information that's available to you when you are doing research for your college, when you're creating your college list. Just be mindful that, just because you see a price that's advertised on the website of the college doesn't mean that that's the price that you will be paying. So if your dream school is to attend UCLA, right, it's not really necessarily, and you are a resident of California, you're not necessarily going to be paying $45,000 to attend, right? Just know that they're just giving you an estimate of all their fees and tuition, and with the hopes and the knowing that you will be getting scholarships and grants and loans to offset that sticker price. So just use the tools and just be on top of your research. Next, chapter 8. So let's talk about categorizing your choices, right? From my experience, it's always good to have three different types of categories of your school when you're choosing. It having a three categories give you a balanced school list, right? And what I mean by balance, you have a balance in the sense of like your strengths would be more focused on your target schools, so you'll have more applications in those target schools where like you definitely want to go, not just definitely want to go, but you have a really pretty good chance of getting accepted. And also a balance of safety schools, where meaning that you're definitely going to be admitted, and you wouldn't mind going there either. And also your reach schools, right? Like the schools that you dream of attending, and it's like, oh my god, it'll be the best thing ever if I get accepted to that college. So for those reasons, I really truly believe that every student who's interested should, when applying to college, should have three different categories of schools that they should apply to. And I believe having those categories help with expectations and also give you options and varieties, right? So for example, if let's say you get accepted into a reach school, but they don't give you a certain amount of financial aid, or if you get accepted into target school and they give you more money than In the safe school, you have options. You have choices and options, and I really believe in having that. Meaning, I believe in having options. Let's go over real quickly. Reach schools, like I said, your dream schools. Reach schools typically admit less than 15% of their students who apply. Um, Target schools or where your academic profile matches, meaning your grades, your scores, your classes matches the average admitted student, and they typically have 15 to 70% of admission rates. Right, and safety schools, which you're more than likely get accepted and admitted, and safety schools tend to have about 80% chance of admissions or acceptance. So these are the different categories of schools that you should consider applying and creating your list off of. 2 to 3 safety schools, 4 to 5 target schools, 2 to 3 read schools. You don't necessarily have to apply to 20 colleges to increase your chance of acceptance. If your research is on point, if you're focused, right? If you know who you are, in a sense, if you know what you're interested in, if you know what the return on investment will be from the particular major that you're interested in, from a particular college, and if you're focused like that, you don't need 20 schools. You don't even need 15 schools to apply, um, and get accepted, because you are focused and targeted, and exactly knowing what you want or interested in. And even if you don't know what you want, if you have an interest and you believe that you want to develop that interest, then focus on whatever university or college that provides that or will enhance that interest. And that's how I would recommend any student who's interested in applying to colleges. Let's move on. What you should be familiar with are your academic profile. Like I said, your high school profile, which include your grades, your curriculum, your the classes that you took, the grading scale. You should know how to calculate your GPA. You should know how what your high school transcript looks like, right? Um, you should have an idea of how you stand as a student. And just looking over the 4 years or 3 years of your high school will give you an idea. How your high school transcript will give you an idea what type of student that you are. Because that's exactly the information that the college admissions committee will be looking at. They'll be looking at your high school transcripts. They will be looking at your high school academic profile, which gives them a general view of the demographics of your, not just your school, but your classmates. So be familiar with these things. Also, when you're doing your research, be sure you find admissions data. Most of the data or all of the data is usually located on the college's websites, mainly the admissions section. Using the college's scorecard, which is located in the Department of Education's website. There's another website called College Data, as well as collegestats.org. These tools give you college admission data. It gives you their admission rates, the type of students, the type of SAT or ACT scores that they were admitted with, how many actually enrolled once they were admitted, and how many came back after their freshman year. So all this information, all this data is important when you're creating your list, because it equips you with information, right? It equips you with the type of college, the college education. If the student had a good experience, as a freshman, and so that means that they come back, they re-enroll and continue on with their college education at that particular institution. All this data is really helpful, and it might seem overwhelming, but knowing this information is better than not knowing it, right? Knowing where you stand, knowing what what a particular college's admission rate is, especially if you're interested in attending there, is very important. and it shows, what type of chance you have of being admitted. So just be well knowledgeable about your choices, because that's what I really believe in. I believe in, if you are choosing to make this investment, which is a very expensive investment in yourself, you have to be well versed. You have to know and get as much information and do as much as research as possible. And I don't want to keep talking and sounding like I'm lecturing, but I just wanted to just hone to that point that, like, it's really important to get as much information as possible when you're creating your college list. All right, so moving on to chapter 9, which is the last chapter, embracing your choices and be thankful. Yeah, enjoy the process. It is, yes, it can be overwhelming, but it's a doable process, right? College planning can be overwhelming, but it's also a time to dream big. It's also a time to, you know, to make it not overwhelming. You can break it up into pieces, and that's another reason why you should start early in the process, right? Especially if you're interested in going to college. Start early in the process. Start 6 months before, 3 months before applying to college, right? Stay focused on your goals. Like, stay focused on your goals. Don't forget, this is an exploration, right? Enjoy the moment. Enjoy every step of it. Enjoy every journal entry. Enjoy every essay that you write. Enjoy every brainstorm that you come up with. Just enjoy the process, right? And finding out who you are as a person, and also finding out a good fit for college education, and also celebrate the opportunities that are coming, right? Celebrate the opportunities that are coming. Look to see where you are at, that that you're going to be a freshman in a few months, and enjoy that. And that's it, right? Remain grateful for the journey, and you just know that you got this. So that will be the end of our part 2 of how to create a college list. If you have any questions, let me know. Send me email, leave a comment, and I hope to see you soon again. Take care.